Trump just said sometimes you need a...
Usually they say he's a horrible dictator type person. I'm a dictator. But sometimes you need a dictator.
Can we cue Cal from Both Sides News excusing this as a joke, please? Look, this was not a formal setting. He was on an unscripted rant about how good his speech went this morning. He was just playing with you. He's not even hiding it anymore, Cal. He's telling you how he feels about his power, yet you still find excuses for him, even when he's not looking for excuses for himself. It's like when he said he could shoot someone on Fifth Avenue and not lose any voters. You are that voter. Look, our constitutional republic believes in checks and balances, and we are obviously anti-dictator, but... Why is there always a but? But every single president, with the exception of William Henry Harrison, has signed a thing called a executive order, which is unilateral authority vested to the president. No, except it's not unilateral authority. All executive orders are still bound to the Constitution, judicial review, and congressional statutes. There's no dictators in our system, whatever way you look at it. Well, I think what Trump was saying is Biden over the last 4 years told us that I cannot shut down the border without Congress, and then Trump came in and shut down the border without Congress using his executive authority. That's because Congress has already delegated broad immigration authority to the executive branch, but you're turning this into a technical, legal argument when Trump wasn't. He was speaking broadly, and we see his embrace of dictators worldwide. He's buddy-buddy with Putin, the Gulf states, Erdogan, yet he's extremely and almost oddly critical of democratic leaders around the world. Open up your freaking ears. He's telling you straight up. In your ears, fixate on these few jokes he makes while I'll stay focused on the substance of building a great economy, creating a safe country, and acquiring Greenland. I think I need to quit from this place. Get the hell out of here. All right, I'm staying.
All right, guys, and we are live. Yo, this is Set with Set Media, guys, and I'm back with another one for you. All right, guys, we're about to jump right into it. It's Trump and JD Vance taking questions and taking on the press. Let's get right into it, guys. And let's not forget to double tap that screen and like the video. Let's go.
Hello, everybody. So we have a nice calm flight. I think the trip was great. We had a lot of good response, even from the fake news. And I think Greenland's going very well. It's in negotiation. And I think what we did today was great. It was great. It's going to be a great board. That'll be a board, I think, like no other. Right? It's a board like no other. A lot of people joining. We just went out with the letters. And a lot of people are joining. Now we have a flight back. And we'll be landing in 4 hours and 45 minutes. And I'm going to be very late for dinner. But that'll be okay.
What are some of the elements of the Greenland concept that you can tell? There was
really a negotiation, but it's infinity. The time limit is infinity, meaning there is no time limit. It's forever. It's you hear about 99 years, 50 years. It's forever. That was discussed. We can do anything we want. We can do military. We can do anything we want, and it's being negotiated. And let's see what happens. I think it'll be good.
what the U.S. have
No price. There's no purchase.
I mean, the deal, oh man, the deal with Greenland seems like it's a steal. So yes, they're giving us mining rights. They're giving us more military bases. They're allowing us to build the Golden Dome there. I mean, Trump is getting everything he wanted out of Greenland without having to buy Greenland or take it over using military force. I mean, they gave him everything he wanted, but, the Europeans are counting it as a win and how they stopped Trump, but really, they gave the man what he wanted.
Would the U.S. have pockets of sovereignty over parts of it?
We have a lot of great things in the deal, and don't forget, they're also good for Europe, because, when we're good, they're good, and if we're not good, that's not very good for them, because we hold it all together. We're holding it all together.
Does that actually give you control of land in Greenland? Does it give U.S. control ownership of land?
Do whatever we want. We're all going to work together, and actually NATO is going to be involved with us. We're going to be doing in conjunction, parts of it in conjunction with NATO, which is really the way it should be.
But to be clear, will the U.S.
We
own
won't
that?
have any expense because we're not going to have expense. Other than building the Golden Dome, we're going to build the Golden Dome. And we'll have participation in that also. The cost of the Golden Dome, we'll have participation in that also, meaning with the expense of it. And it'll be like no other. I mean, our technology is incredible.
Is Denmark signed off on this? Are they on board with this concept? Is Denmark on board with this concept?
I think everyone likes it. I mean, I think. I'll let you know in about 2 weeks.
Have you spoken with the with Denmark about this plan?
The Secretary General, Mark, is a great guy. He's a great guy, and he's spoken to everybody.
And when you spoke with the NATO Secretary General, did you talk about U.S. military presence in Greenland?
We talked about everything, and you saw him yesterday. He was interviewed on Brett Bear, and he was very happy. He was very convinced this is a good deal for everybody.
Ukraine, how did your conversation go with President Zelensky?
We had a conversation. I've had numerous conversations on Ukraine. It'd be nice to end that war. It costs us nothing. We make money. I don't want to make money, but we make money.
I mean, yes, as the Ukraine and Russian war persists, well, Russia's still gaining more ground. Both sides are still losing a large number of men, but it does seem like, once again, like Putin is just chipping away at, well, Ukrainian forces. And this is one reason why I was saying that NATO wasn't going to get into it with the U.S. because they're too busy trying to fund a losing war to try to get into it with the U.S. So this framework deal works out for both parties. Trump gets what he wants, and so does NATO. The only people who are actually upset is actually Denmark, because they're going like, whoa, what happened to our sovereignty, our integrity? Like, what's going on here? And well, NATO's pretty much telling them, look, man, just pipe down. Look, it's better than you guys being taken over and you looking bad like you can't defend your own territory. So let's just pretty much sell it to America, in a deal.
Whereas Biden spent $350 billion stupidly and lost a lot of money, but it's not about the money. It's about 25 to 30,000 soldiers a month, mostly soldiers.
Are you ready to
A month of being killed.
Do you think that can you sign the securities deal? Are you able to sign that?
Golf and Jared are right now on the way to Moscow, so we'll see how that works out. I had a good meeting, but I've had numerous good meetings with President Zelensky, and it doesn't seem to happen. It's funny. I put out a 35-year war in a day, a 32-year war in 2 days, and other wars. The worst was like 4 days. And this one goes on and on forever. And actually, they may have been more complex.
Do you think that the trilateral that the U.S., Russia, and Ukraine are having in Abu Dhabi this weekend leads to a trilateral between you, Putin, and Zelensky?
Look, it's all good. Anytime we meet, it's good. If you don't meet, nothing's going to happen. I mean, for the first 3 years, nobody met. Under Biden, nobody met. And one thing, if you don't meet, nothing's going to happen. So we are meeting, and we'll see what happens. I hope we can save a lot of lives. And so,
Mr. President, what kind of concessions does Vladimir Putin need to make at this point?
I mean, he'll make concessions. Everybody's making concessions to get it done. Europe is going to be a part of it. It's got to be a part of it.
I mean, the crazy thing is that what Putin is conceding is land that he took. And here's the thing, though. He's not really conceding that much. Because remember, he just wanted the Donbass region. Well, honestly, he just wanted basically that whole, I believe, eastern side of Ukraine. That's pretty much what he wanted. He's actually taking past that now. So he'd be giving up land he never really wanted in the first place. This is why he's continuing taking land, because it gives him a better negotiation position. Because then when he gives it up, he's basically going to have what he always wanted still. And if they don't give up, then, I mean, I don't know how far they're willing to go. Like, what? Are they waiting from 40 to 50% of Ukraine to be taken?
It's more for Europe than for me. I mean, I'm doing this more for Europe than for me. I'm doing it to save lives, number one. I'm doing it secondarily for Europe. I'm not doing it so much for the U.S. It doesn't affect us very much. Other than the loss of lives, we're not affected by this. It's thousands of miles away. We're separated by an ocean. But I have an ability to get things done like this, and we'll see if I can get it done. I mean, it would never have gotten done. I thought Putin wanted the whole thing. Maybe he does, but he's not gonna be going there unless we don't make a deal. But we had a good meeting today with President Zelensky. I think a very good meeting.
What's the main holdup? What's the main holdup to getting a deal?
The main holdup is the same things that have been holding it up for the last year. Look, this is a war. This is Biden's war. This isn't my war. This is a war that should have never happened. But it's complex because you have beats and bounds. You You have streets, you have rivers, you have everything, where does it end? So it's a little bit complicated. But I've had that in 5 of the other wars. There are beats and bounds. It's a location, it's boundaries. And I got them done fast in days, and this one is just going on. And what's happened here is...
Well, we could say he settled 5 conflicts because about 3 of them is pretty much kind of pop back off. Like, what was it? The Congo, Rwanda, the rebel group there is pretty much causing problems. And then, of course, we got Thailand and Cambodia. I mean, these guys start firing off at each other again. And then, well, actually, we can actually give them the Israel and Gaza one because they are now moving on to the second phase. So we'll see where that goes.
There were times when Putin didn't want to make a deal, times when Zelensky didn't want to make a deal.
Kind of felt
and it was like opposite times. Now I think they both want to make a deal, but we'll find out.
Did something change that makes you think that Putin and Zelensky now are serious about it?
I'm not making any predictions. There are no changes. I think that President Putin would like to make a deal. I think that President Zelensky would like to make a deal.
What did Zelensky say today? I mean, he came all the way there to meet you. What did he say?
He said he'd like to make a deal. I mean, there's not much you can say. People know the parameters. It's not like, we're discussing things that have been discussed for 6 or 7 months, and he came and he said he wants to make a deal because I wasn't necessarily sure. I think he should want to make a deal. It's pretty tough. It's really tough on the people of Ukraine. I'll tell you that.
Mr. President,
how they live without heat, where it's 20 degrees below zero. It's very cold. That's a colder climate for the most part than Canada. And they live without heat. I asked him, how do they do that? And he gave me an answer. It's pretty amazing what they do to live. There's no way to live. Yeah.
Back to Greenland. Can you elaborate more on we're trying to understand what exactly the concept is here? Is the U.S. going to actually take ownership of?
We'll have something in 2 weeks. There's a good spirit to get something done, and we have to have a strong freedom. We have to have the ability to do exactly what we want to do. We have a great military. I built a great military. I did this in my first term. And continuation, big continuation. I think what we did with the defense companies was very important too, because we need things faster. We have the best weapons in the world by far. We showed that last week with Venezuela. We have the best.
I'm gonna be honest with you, and NATO's giving Trump that exactly. Yep, he's giving him his Arctic protection, which will be handled through NATO NATO posture, plus a Nordic Arctic planning, plus existing U.S. Denmark framework, with Denmark and Greenland empathizing sovereignty and inclusion. So yeah, they're going to be getting that golden dome, but we're not really sure how much Denmark and Greenland is going to have a say in it. Mining access will be handed over to the United States in some areas, not all areas, but in some areas that we believe is key. And of course, we'll be putting in more military bases.
Happens in the world, we have to make them faster.
How would it be any different than the current situation? The U.S. can
much different, much more detailed, much more generous to the United States. It's a much more generous deal. It has to be. And we're building a golden dome, and you see the way it works. That is so much better for us and for Europe to have that piece of ice covered by the golden dome.
You mentioned Venezuela. You've expressed optimism in your relationship with Delcy Rodriguez. Are you glad to let her stay in power?
Well, right now they're very strong leadership. They're showing very strong leadership. I also spoke with Maria today, and who I like a lot. But Delcy's shown very strong leadership so far, I have to say. And we're moving in, to the United States, millions of barrels of oil as we speak. You know that. You see it. You see what's happening. Over 50 million barrels of oil is already moved or moving into the United States, and much more to come. And we're working with them, and they'll get some of that.
Yeah, it does seem like Delcy Rodriguez is playing ball with the Trump administration. All that posturing she was doing in the beginning, talk about we want Maduro back and all that good stuff. It was just to save face in front of the current regime, or I'm gonna be honest with you, the Maduro regime is still in power. Like the Supreme Court want Maduro back. Most of the government officials there want the Maduro back, but Dulce Rodriguez is kind of telling them like, look, we gotta save face in front of the people, because apparently there's people that also want Maduro back, but they gotta save face. They gotta say, look, we're asking, we're claiming, we're saying that we're demanding Maduro back, even though they are pretty much working with the Trump administration in every way, shape, and form. At a certain point, you could almost say somebody around him, maybe Dulce Rodriguez, was the one who actually gave up Maduro's position. I mean, it would make sense that his VP would know where he was at, but it's all starting to seem like that's the conclusion right there, is that it was an inside job. Somebody snitched on Maduro, and this is how he was able to catch him so easily.
We're going to get some of that, and it'll be divided up, and our country will become richer, and that means our taxes are going to be going down, and they will do better. Venezuela is going to do better than they've ever done.
So if that continues,
Even with us, taking a very fair piece of it, Venezuela will do better by far than they've ever done. It's going to be very rich, and she has done a very good job.
Have you spoken with Jamie Dimon since the lawsuit?
No, I haven't spoken to him. No, he debanked me. So we'll see if that means anything, but I think it should. You shouldn't be debanked. You get debanked if you don't have money, or if you default and you have this great company, and all of a sudden I was told, no, you can't.
Yeah, debanking is a bit crazy. Like, so a bank can literally say, yeah, we're going to close your account. We're just going to send you a check because, of your public image, and we just don't want to work with you no more. I'm just like, whoa. I mean, what are you guys getting involved in my public life to the point where y'all feel like I got to punish me? I mean, when I heard about debanking, I thought that was a bit weird. I'm like, hold on now. I mean, shouldn't y'all kind of be out of my business? The only business you should care about is how much money's in my account. That's the only thing you should be caring about as a bank, not what I'm doing in public. But I mean, hey, it ain't the first time. Let's be real. Banks won't operate with like marijuana companies and all that good stuff. Why? Because they basically operate with it was a Schedule I substance. Now it's Schedule III. But you guys get my point.
Can't do that. It's so wrong.
Like, man, think about Kanye. I mean, Chase also debanked Kanye West.
And so I don't know what their excuse would be. Maybe their excuse would be the regulators. I don't know. But regardless, I guess it's a good lawsuit because every pundit has come out and said Trump has a great lawsuit here. You're not allowed to do what they did. Jamie Dimon, what he did, he's not allowed to do that.
Where do things stand with Iran? The U.S. has got sizable military assets.
We have a lot of ships going that direction, just in case. We have a big flotilla going in that direction, and we'll see what happens. We have a big force going toward Iran. I'd rather not see anything happen, but we're watching them very closely. I stopped 837 hangings on Thursday. They would have been dead. Every one of them would have been hung. This is like from 1,000 years ago. This is an ancient culture. Very smart people, by the way, but it's an ancient culture. 837, mostly young men, were going to be hung on Thursday. And I said, if you hang those people, you're going to be hit harder than you've ever been hit. It'll make what we did to your Iran nuclear look like peanuts. And
Damn.
An hour before this horrible thing was going to take place, they canceled it. And they actually said they canceled it. They didn't postpone it. They canceled it. So that was a good sign. But we have an armada. We have a massive fleet heading in that direction. And maybe we won't have to use it. We'll see.
No, it is looking like a strike on Iran is imminent at this point. Like what I was hearing is that, Air Force guys are pretty much saying that they're getting in the area. They're already flying around. We got naval fleets moving in that area. Of course, there was the retreat of Air Force men or military men from certain bases around Iran as well. So they're preparing for an attack and to not even allow Iran to be able to retaliate. I mean, it's happening all around them. So it's looking like a strike may be imminent, maybe coming in the next day. Shoot, maybe at the end of the month. But all we know is it looks like these guys may be running the drills for it, or I mean, maybe setting up the strike as we speak.
Would you like the supreme leader to step down or to go into exile?
Right now, I don't want to get into that, but they know what we're looking for.
You said today that they want
There's a lot of killing going on.
You said today they want to talk and we'll talk. So if you set something up and they asked you to,
I would. That happened. But we've talked to them a lot. They should have made a deal before we hit them with the nuclear, because we really that was a devastating hit. That whole area is out of play. And if they try to do it again, they're going to have to go to another area. We'll hit them there too, just as easily, much more easily. Because that was very advanced. They were building that for 10 years. And they'd have to start anew. So, there was a total obliteration.
Are you still planning to go ahead with those tariffs that you had mentioned on the secondary tariffs for those affected by businesses in Iran, the 25% tariffs?
I am doing that, yeah. We're doing that. If you do business with Iran, you're going to have a tariff of 25%.
Yeah, he's putting the squeeze on them. He's like, yeah, if you do business with Iran, 25% tariff. If Iran execute any prisoners, I mean, we're going to strike them, which is a bit concerning, to be quite honest with you. I mean, striking them over executions and all this crazy stuff. Like, if you really think about it, it doesn't really make sense to me, to be quite honest with you, unless we actually do got American, maybe CIA guys who might have actually been working those protesters in there, and we're trying to protect them. It doesn't really make sense other than that reason right there why we're taking this so serious to the point where we're willing to strike Iran over the execution of, well, their own people and not our own.
Into effect? Do you think there's a possibility that the UK or France could join the Board of Peace?
Well, I think they're going to want to. Look, most countries, some countries have a prohibition, and they're going to.
Oh, guys, make sure you double tap that screen and like the video, guys. Like I said, I'm still under shadow ban because they refuse to push my vertical live on the shorts feed like every other channel does. Like, yes, every other channel gets their live pushed on the shorts feed. Well, I don't know. I ain't gonna say except for mine, but if there is a list of them that I don't know it, but guess what? I'm on it.
Legislatures and getting out. In most countries, the prime minister or the president can sign. You saw a lot of them today. Don't forget, the letter only went out 2 days ago. We had almost 30 people already at very important countries. But there are some countries like Italy who told me she wants to sign. She wants to be desperately, but I think she has to go back to her legislative branch. And we have that with Poland too. He said we want to. I was the one that endorsed him. He's great, by the way. He's doing a great job, Carol. But he has to get an approval. Some have to get an approval, some don't. Most don't, but some do. They have, a legal requirement to get an approval.
Do you envision being chairman of the Board of Peace past your second term in office?
I have the right to be if I want. I'll decide, see what happens. But they'd like me to be. It's in theory for life.
Now, if you don't know what the Board of Peace is, about to be, a board that's going to secure the economic security of Gaza. But of course, it's going to be a board that's securing the economic security of Gaza and pushes them towards self-governance and self-policing. So this is what this Board of Peace is going to be for. I know they invited Emmanuel Macron to it. He was a bit bitter about the NATO situation, but now that that's died down, he might be more willing to join on the board. But Lord knows it's going to be Trump on there, Tony Blair. I'm not really sure. People kind of freaked out over that one. But we do know for sure that Trump is going to be on there. And is he going to be there past his presidency? Well, that would be something unprecedented. But, we'll see. Anything's possible with this man, Trump.
But I'm not sure I want that. But it's going to do great work with Gaza and maybe other things. It could be beyond Gaza. And we'll work in terms of the with the United Nations, who I've always said the United Nations has great potential, but they have not lived up to them. And I say 8 wars and I never spoke to them. You'd think I would have spoken to them a lot. But the United Nations has great potential. I think working with the Board of Peace is going to be a good thing for the United Nations.
Will you tell us who your Fed pick is?
Said a couple of days ago that there would be something in the works where you could take money out of your 401k to help on purchasing a home. Is that something that the administration is working on?
I'm not a huge fan of other people like it. They're talking about taking money out to put a deposit down on a home. And one of the reasons I don't like it is that their 401ks are doing so well. 401ks are up 80, 90% in some cases. And, you're talking about a lot of people. We're talking about very mainstream. And they're really doing, and the housing market's good, but the 401ks are doing much better than the housing market. I like keeping their 401ks in great shape. I like keeping their 401ks. I'm not a huge fan of putting down a deposit. I'm not. I'm so happy with the way 401ks are doing. But yeah, people tell me they're up 88%. And over the period of a year, over a full year, it's going to be, it's going to be close to 100%. Yeah.
Can you tell us back to the Board of Peace? Some of the countries are, I think the permanent members contributed $1 billion. What is that money supposed to be for Gaza?
Have already put up $1 billion. Some of the countries have already put up much more than that.
What's that money for?
That's a lot of money, but it's nothing compared to the value of peace. Peace is so destructive for everyone, even countries that aren't involved. It's so destructive for everybody when you have wars.
Can you tell us who your Fed pick is, sir? Can you tell us who your Fed pick is?
I'll be telling you soon. No, I have somebody that I think will be very good, but I'm not going to reveal it.
Wall Street?
Yeah, I would wait too, because as soon as Trump says the name, left-wing media is going to go out and try to find everything on this guy, all the dirt, if he had a failed account, any bankruptcies, any missed calls on any economic predictions and all that good stuff. And they're going to crucify him over. And they're going to be like, this is the guy you want for Fed chair, somebody that Trump appointed. They're going to try to, demonize this man. Trust me, they're going to try to demonize the Fed chair. Why? Because that is a very important position in the United States. Let's be real. As much as I wish it wasn't there, it is very important. But all right.
Wall Street, somebody that's very respected, very, very well known, and will do, I think, a very good job.
President Putin has said that he may use frozen Russian assets to pay for his entry to the Board of Peace. Are you inclined to let him do that?
I don't know about that. I've heard that. Who said that?
President Putin.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. But he said he's going to use his money.
His frozen assets.
If he's using his money, I think that's fine. Yeah. You're talking about where he said this morning.
Yes.
He's going to join the Board of Peace and he's going to make a contribution of $1 billion. Yeah, by using his money. If he's using his money, that's great. I think it's.
Let me get in the chat here with some of my members, though. So shout out to my man Jet. Guys, let's make sure we support the stream so I can keep the stream going on longer. Appreciate the support, guys. But I'm gonna go ahead and mention some of the members. You gotta support those who support you. He said, "Oh yeah, shout out Jet. I agree with you on that one, because bro, if we put in Trump's Fed chair, this is somebody that's gonna be influenced through Trump for 10 years." We're talking about 10 years of Trump's economic or federal economic policy. So we'll see how that works out, even though that's what we got with Powell, but Powell ended up turning against Trump.
It's important to have everybody in.
Are you concerned about the investigation into Jay Powell, making Jay Powell stay longer on the Fed?
No, I'm not concerned. We'll have to see what happens. He's too late. It's always too late. Despite that, we have interest rates going down. And also he's, building a small complex, the Fed building, and they're going to be close to $4 billion. It's the most expensive job, and it's a renovation. It's the most expensive job per square foot ever built of any kind. It's either gross incompetence or it's worse.
Are you done with the interviewing people for the job?
Worried about the market reaction to your tariffs on Monday and Tuesday?
Market reaction's been good. It was up very big today. It was up big yesterday. It's where it started. It's very close to 50,000 on the Dow. And nobody thought you could be breaking 50,000 during the first year. So we'll see what happens. No, pretty much even, right? Just about even.
The market came up only after you backed away from your threats.
as of yesterday, the market came up very nicely.
On that 10% cap with the credit cards, is that an end goal? Is it a negotiating point? And are you speaking with certain lawmakers?
People, the credit card companies are getting 28% interest. So a guy goes out, they don't even know it. You know, these are people, regular people. They don't know that they're paying 28%. And then it's a little bit overdue and they end up having to file for bankruptcy. I'm not going to let that happen. So it's a 1 year 10% cap on credit cards. We have to get that approved by Congress too. So that's not a no-brainer.
Did you say that
It should be a no-brainer, but it's not.
Sir, did you say that you spoke with Maria Machado today?
Yeah, I told her.
Can you tell us about that conversation?
We have a very good relationship, just to say. She's a good woman, a very nice woman. She's been through a lot. And at the same time, I'll tell you, they're doing a very good job in Venezuela. So it's interesting. I get along with both sides. I get along with everybody but the media. You know, the fake news that I don't get along, but I get along with everybody.
I'll tell you one thing we didn't expect. Trump reaching out to Elizabeth Warren to start talking about, well, how to work better with these insurance companies. Because you all know the insurance companies got Elizabeth Warren in their back pocket. So it is funny that they're going to their main bought politician to start trying to work out some things with them. Because, I mean, of course, she would know what they want. I mean, she's bought by them.
Pivot, sir, to at what point will you pivot in Venezuela to say we should have an election there?
I want to see how they do. First of all, they have to, we have to take in a lot of money. We have to get that back. Right now, they're not living well because of what's gone on for years. It's years of socialism and worse. It's really, worse than socialism. But we're going to start drilling very soon. We have the biggest companies in the world. We have them. And they're going to be going in. They're all negotiating right now. And we're representing the nation. And the nation is very thrilled by that because we're really good at this. And they'll be taking in more money than they ever have, but we'll be taking in a lot of money too. That's going to do two things. It's going to make the United States a lot of money. And it's also, it's going to make Venezuela a lot of money, but it's also going to bring down oil prices even further. We have oil prices down in many cases to $2.30 a gallon, and in also numerous cases $1.99 below $2. It was $4.50, $5, $3.90. Prices are coming down very rapidly, including groceries, including just about everything, and they're starting to come down even more. We're getting them low. I inherited very high prices. When they talk about affordability, they cost them. I inherited very high prices, and we've done a great job. Prices have come down a lot, and I would say led by energy. We're pumping more oil right now. We're drilling more oil at any time in the history of our country by far.
One more on the Fed, if you will.
And when you add Venezuela to it, it's a tremendous part of the market.
One more on the Fed, if you will. The Supreme Court seems skeptical of your power to remove Lisa Cook from the board. What's your reaction to that?
We'll see. I listened to some, I read some of it, and I didn't get that impression other than they thought maybe it should have gone through a more normal court system. But nobody was saying she's innocent. What they're saying is maybe it should have been a longer process. So we'll see what happens.
Back to Iran for a second. We've seen wild variation in the numbers supposedly killed in those protests. Have you seen a reliable estimate about how many people were killed?
Well, nobody knows the number. It's a lot no matter what. Hey, if it was one person, in this country, if it's one person, it's, front page news. It's a lot of people. But there's a difference between a lot and 20,000 people. So we'll find out what it is. We're going to find out exactly what it is.
Have you arranged a meeting with health insurance executives? You had mentioned you would have. When will that be taking place?
The biggest company, yeah. What I'd like to see is that the money is paid not to the health insurance or not to the insurance companies, directly to the people into a healthcare account, savings account. And the people buy their own healthcare. Now, the Democrats don't like that because they're owned by the insurance companies. The Democrats are owned by the insurance companies. Obamacare, and I said this for long time. Obamacare was set up for the insurance companies. They made a fortune. 1,000 points, they're going up 1,000, 1,250, 1,359%. That's all the money pouring in. I want the money to go directly to the people. Let the people buy their own health care. Now, their health care is going to be better, and they'll be paying less money. It's going to be amazing. But we have to get the Democrats to support it, most likely. Yeah.
You're going to Iowa on Tuesday. What's your message there ahead of the midterm elections?
Great to the farmers. The farmers have been great. I helped them out when we were going through the difficulty with China, which we solved. China's buying a lot of product right now, as you know. But while we had that negotiation, and I gave them, billions of dollars, and they were very happy. The farmers like Trump, and I like the farmers. I won their vote I won almost all aspects of a lot of. Look at the auto workers, how well I did with the Teamsters, the auto workers. But the farmers have been very special to me, very successful. All 3 terms. I won it all the time. So I think they're really happy, the farmers, with what's happening.
You expressed some concern, though, about the midterm elections.
My only concern is that presidents never win. What is it, 2 times in 50 years? Democrat or Republican. Nobody had a better first year than I did. Look at what we've done. We have the greatest economy in the world. We have the greatest investment in a country in history by many times. Nobody's ever had that. Think of it, $18 trillion. We have thousands of businesses being built right now. And they're going to be opening soon, and it's going to be amazing. Also, the great big beautiful bill kicks in now, now and over the next couple of months. That's going to have a huge impact when you have no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime. That's going to have a huge impact. Also, the 1-year depreciation is big for businesses. They're going to have to hire a lot of people. So I don't think there's ever been anything like it. I think we have a great country. We have a country back. We were a dead country, and now we're great.
How much travel are you going to do this year, campaign travel?
I'm going to do a lot of campaign traveling. I hate to tell you guys, but it's going to keep you employed. Now, we're going to work hard. The only problem with that question is, for whatever reason, it's a deep down psychological reason, sitting presidents that won, even that won big, we won big, all 7 swing states, a popular vote, sitting presidents don't seem to do well in the midterms. I guess over a 50-year period, they won twice. So I don't know what that is. That's something down deep. You'd have to ask a psychiatrist about that. But we should do great. We won the election big. The border is now great. The border is the best we've ever had. The border is the best there is anywhere in the world. Look at some of the European countries, what happened. They wish they had our border. And they tell me that openly. They wish they had our border. And they have to do something about immigration.
Mr. President, how many times do you think you'll meet with the Chinese president this year? I'm going
to make a trip. I'm going in April. He'll come toward the end of the year. And I look forward to seeing President Xi. I've always had, his wife is fantastic. He's an amazing guy. And I've always had a great relationship. President Xi of China. Always had a great relationship with him. It was a very strained relationship during COVID. But now it's an excellent relationship. Look, you see that. Look at all the farm product they're buying. The soybeans, they're buying a lot of soybeans. And that makes our farmers happy. And that makes me happy. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.